Hello and welcome to Rajya TV. I'm Rajat Kane. Let's have a look at the top headlines in our breakfast news. Polling underway for the final phase in Uttar Pradesh and Manipur. 40 seats voting in UP, 22 in Manipur. Suspected ISIS terrorist killed after 12 hours operation in Lucknow's Thakurganj. Police says he was linked to Tuesday's Bhopal Ujjain passenger train explosion. A counter-terrorism declaration adopted at IORS summit in Jakarta. Member countries agree to share information and best practices. China says it will soon take a call on India's demand to designate Masood Azhar as global terrorist by the UN. Reveals 320 of its nationals being trained in Taliban camps. And second defeat for Brexit bill in House of Lords. Seniors call for meaningful parliamentary vote on the final terms of withdrawal from the European Union. Now, what's making election headlines? Let's see in verdict 2017. A top story today. Voting is underway for the 7th and final phase of elections in Uttar Pradesh. 40 seats spread across 7 districts, including Prime Minister Narendra Modi's parliamentary constituency, Benares, are voting today. The other districts where people are exercising their franchise are Jaunpur, Ghazipur, Mirzapur, Chandoli, Sonbhadra and Bhadohi. 535 candidates, including 51 women, are in fray. There are more than 1.4 crore voters in these polls. The BSP is contesting on 40 seats, while the BJP is contesting on 32 seats. SP on 31, its ally Congress on 9, and the RLD on 21 seats. The final phase of polling saw 64% turnout. There was 66 in second phase, 62 in the third, 61 in the fourth, 58% in the fifth, and 57th in the sixth phase. For more, we have with us Rajya TV's Kriti Mishra from UP and Akhilesh Suman from Manipur. Kriti, first to you. Kriti, you are stationed in Uttar Pradesh and final phase of polling is now being held. What are you seeing? We've been seeing that the first phase polling was quite high and last two phases wasn't that high.
Well, Rajat, I'm at Varanasi right now. Remember, it is one of the high-profile districts in Uttar Pradesh, simply for the fact that it is parliamentary turf of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. So the figure that we are getting right now is that around 14% polling has taken place. Remember, Rajat, Mark Twain once said that Kashi is older than history and equally primitive is its political journey. So every corner, every street, every chaiwala that you go to, political topics would actually dominate that discourse. And probably that fact is vindicated here in the long queues. People had started queuing up as early as 6:45 a.m. in the morning just to exercise their franchise. I'm at one of the model polling centers in Medagin in Varanasi, and the Election Commission has organized this model polling center. Red carpet and green carpets have been unfurled to welcome the voters. There's BLO, that is the booth level officer, just to disseminate information for the voters. There's also a waiting room. Elaborate security arrangements have been made. There's also a wheelchair for differently abled voters. And most interestingly, Rajat, let me show you this selfie point that the Election Commission has actually made, so that people can come here and take their selfies with that indelible ink mark on their finger. So certainly laudable efforts by the Election Commission to ensure that higher voter turnout actually takes place in this phase. Rajat?
Right. As you rightly said, Benares is old, twice as old as the history itself, said George Orson Welles. Now, moving on to the other news, extensive security arrangements are in place in Benares for the polling in this phase. Companies of Central Paramilitary Forces and police have been deployed to ensure peaceful polling. Speaking to Rajya TV, Inspector General of Police of Benares said appropriate action will be taken against all poll irregularities.
We have made elaborate security arrangements for the polling day. We have deployed 800 sub-inspectors, 425 head constables and 5,700 constables totally for polling duty. We also have 50 barriers to check the free movement and infiltration of outsiders and antisocial elements.
So how many companies of paramilitary forces have you deployed?
We have deployed 55 companies of paramilitary and 4 companies of state provincial armed constabulary.
Has there been seizure of illicit liquor and cash?
Yeah, there has been a seizure of 3 crore 38 lakhs cash only in Varanasi districts, and we have seized 2,892 liters of liquor also. And every vulnerable village we have deployed the paramilitary force in the vulnerable pocket, and police have made elaborate preventive measures before the election, and all the vulnerable areas were properly taken care of, and there is no vulnerability as on today.
The polling is also underway in Manipur. Manipur is a state, northeastern state, which was hit by economic blockade and has been hit since November. So election campaigning happened across the state, and even Prime Minister, Home Minister and Congress Vice President Rahul Gandhi had come and interacted with the people of Manipur. Now, Manipur is a state where for the last 3 terms, Congress is having the government, so Congress is facing a stiff anti-incumbency test over there, plus issues of economic blockade and also the recent issue of carving 7 new districts from the hill areas that has had possible political ramifications. For more, we have with us Akhilesh Suman from Senapati district. Akhilesh, if I remember correctly, Senapati district was also affected by economic blockade, considering it falls after the Mao Gate. Now, what were the issues that dominated this phase of polling, especially in last 22 seats? Is Iram Sharmila's party, PRJ, will it have an impact in this polls, considering she was a face of AFSPA, and that issue is quite that has made quite a currency in a lot of people in the autonomous hills area?
Yeah, actually, Iram Sharmila is fighting from the place where Chief Minister Ibobi Singh is fighting, and she is fighting against Ibobi Singh. So it has become a very high-profile situation that 3 terms anti-incumbency, whether it is being taken by Iram Sharmila or not. But as far as the situation in Thobal is concerned, Thobal is the home constituency of Ibobi Singh, and he has done lots of work, development work. He has obliged many of people, and so it will be a really challenging task for Iram Sharmila that she can have a say on the practical politician like Ibobi Singh, who is the Chief Minister. But coming on the issue of economic blockade and also on the creation of a new district, I am standing at a place where I am going to show you that this is the area. This is the whole Senapati area. You can see the mountains of Senapati, and also this is the main highway that is affected by the economic blockade. And Senapati is the area that has been the bastion and main almost headquarter of United Naga Council that has called the economic blockade. So people in this area are almost quite very sensitive about the creation of new district, because they think that new districts will alienate them from their own land, and their own land will be divided in various parts. So you can see the notion, you can see the people who are standing in queue with this political demand that unless the creation of new districts are taken away, we will continue the movement. This is the notion in the mind of the people. You talk to anyone, somewhere or other, they will give you the hint that this has been unjustified new district creation, and economic blockade is justified because we have no other way to protest on this issue. So this has become the hot issue in this whole area, and you can understand that every household, this is an area which has been a major polling station, and every household has come and voted, and they are coming again and again. They are coming, everyone is coming since 5 a.m. in the morning, though the polling started from 7 a.m. but since 5 a.m. in the morning, people are enthusiastically coming. They are polling, though the polling is slow here because of the only 2 polling booths is there. It could have been made 4 polling booths, but still People are coming, they are voting, and it is, in a way, you can say that
Right.
instead of violence, participation in the democratic election is better, and I think that Senapati area is going in that direction.
Right,
Raja.
Akhilesh. Right. Thanks, Akhilesh. Moving on to the next news, the second phase of polling in Manipur is being seen as much more challenging for the authorities due to difficult terrain and lack of connectivity. Rajya TV correspondent Akhilesh Suman spoke to the Chief Electoral Officer about the arrangements in the place.
What is the major challenge in the second phase election?
Second phase of election in Manipur will be covering 1151 polling stations spread over 6 districts of Chandel, Ukhrul, Senapati, Tamenglong, Thawal and Jiribam. Out of these 6 districts, 4 hill districts are having logistics problem. It is difficult terrain, road conditions are bad. We had to use 4x4 vehicles to reach the polling stations. Out of 1151 polling stations, 24 polling parties had to leave on P-3 day.
That is what I was going to ask, that you have 4 hill districts. So what you have arranged for the hill districts? How we are managing the logistic of the hill districts?
We started dispatching polling parties on P-3 day, that is on 5th of March. We dispatched 24 polling parties. On P-2 day, that is on 6th of March. We had dispatched 211 polling parties. They had to go long distance, road condition is really bad. They had to walk on foot for more than 5 hours, and they'll be able to reach today by evening only.
Okay. So in those areas, I think connectivity of wireless is also a problem. Even mobile connectivity and 3G connectivity is a problem. So how will you monitor from here?
In fact, we have made adequate communication plan. We have made arrangement for 30 satellite phones also, and all the polling stations have been covered by the repeater wireless stations recently installed by the state police.
Now look at what else is expected to make news across the country today in a day ahead. The newly elected corporators of the BMC are set to elect Mayor of Mumbai today. The BMC has a total of 227 corporators, but Shiv Sena's Vishwanath Mahadeshwar is the strongest contender for the post after BJP withdrew from the mayoral race. However, Mahadeshwar is facing legal trouble after a case has been filed in the court challenging his election. The Supreme Court will hear appeal filed by real estate baron Gopal Ansal, who has been directed to serve 1 year jail in 1997 of car fire tragedy case. The matter would come up for hearing before the same bench which had passed the verdict on February 9th. Gopal Ansal has sought the relief that he should not be asked to serve 1 year jail term like his elder brother Sushil Ansal in the case, citing health issues. Open-Air-Silvam-led ADMK faction will stage hunger strike in Chennai today, reiterating the demand for probe into the death of Jaya Lalitha. His supporters would stage a hunger strike in district headquarters across Tamil Nadu. The ADMK MPs supporting Open-Air-Silvam, led by V. Maitriyan, on Tuesday met President Pranab Mukherjee and demanded a probe into Jaya Lalitha's death. Union Minister Venkaiah Naidu will inaugurate International Yoga Fest today in New Delhi. The first fest is being organized as a curtain raiser for International Day of Yoga 2017 to be held on June 21st. 3,500 participants, including representatives from foreign countries, are expected to take part in the festival. Time for a short break. More international and national news on the other side.
Harappan sites are a treasure trove of sophisticated pottery. These creations show tremendous advances by the potter's wheel. Creations like the perforated jar, the copper axe, the chisel and knives astound even present-day archaeologists. Figurines depicting yoga poses, chess pieces display a complexity unsurpassed even by later-day civilizations, all of which make the Harappan civilization truly unique.
Welcome back. A suspected active member of the terror group Islamic State has been killed by security forces after a prolonged operation in Lucknow's Thakurganj area. The operation to flush out the suspected terrorist holed up in a house was launched after inputs that linked him to Bhopal-Ujjain train blast in Madhya Pradesh on Tuesday morning. The operation lasted almost 12 hours and included at least 20 commandos. According to the IG of Anti-Terrorism Squad, the cops tried to flush out the suspect with chili bombs, but when they tried to enter inside the house, the militant opened fire. One pistol, a revolver, one knife and an ammunition have been recovered. Meanwhile, nearly 10 people are reported to be injured when a mobile phone exploded on a Bhopal-Ujjain passenger train in Madhya Pradesh. Police have detained 3 people from Hoshangabad district in connection with the incident. Madhya Pradesh Chief Minister Shivraj Singh Chauhan confirmed ISIS terrorists were behind the train blast. The centre has sounded an alert across the country in the wake of recent incident.
वेपन्स मिले हैं और सीनियर अधिकारी मौके पर हैं, मौके का पूरा मुआयना किया जा रहा है। अब बाकी के जो बचे हुए अभियुक्त हैं, जो सस्पेक्ट्स बताए गए थे, उनकी तलाश भी जारी है।
कल दोपहर में शुरू हुआ था, वो सफलतापूर्वक संपादित हो चुका है। इसमें एक सिस्टर एजेंसी से हम लोग को सूचना मिली थी कि सैफुल्लाह नाम का एक व्यक्ति है जो ISIS से जुड़ा हुआ है।
आतंकी ये सारी जो घटनाएं हो रही है, ये प्री प्लान चल रहा है देश को अस्थिरता फैलाने का भारत देश में, लेकिन पुलिस ने ठीक काम किया है, सेबी कोऑर्डिनेशन ठीक चल रहा है स्टेट सेंट्रल का, इसलिए सब बातें हो रही है। रोक अच्छी लगी भी है, कंट्रोल में है, बहुत बड़ी आबादी का देश है।
मैं मध्य प्रदेश पुलिस को, विशेषकर ATS को, होशंगाबाद जिले की पुलिस को बहुत बधाई देना चाहूंगा। ISIS से जुड़े आतंकियों ने एक बड़ी आतंकी घटना को अंजाम देने के लिए भोपाल उज्जैन पैसेंजर में सुबह लगभग 7:30 बजे पाइप बम रखा था।
Vice President Mohammad Hamid Ansari wrapped up his 2-day visit to Indonesia, where he attended the Indian Ocean Rim Association Summit. The 21-nation association adopted a declaration on preventing and countering terrorism and violent extremism. The member countries decided to support each other's effort to counter terrorism and violent extremism, agreeing to share information and the best practices. They also pressed for effective implementation of all relevant United Nations resolutions and declaration on the international terrorism, including Global Counter-Terrorist Strategy and the UN General Assembly resolution. The members also acknowledged that terrorism also undermines economic development and social cohesion.
You've seen the declaration against violence and extremism. I think it expresses everybody's view that violence in any form is an undesirable thing for civilized life. So people are beginning to realize it, and across the board you have this convergence of views that violence has to be resisted, objected to and resisted. Greater cooperation means practical cooperation between governments, and this is happening and this will continue to happen.
A senior functionary of Chinese Communist Party on Tuesday said that China will soon take a call on India's demand to designate Jaish-e-Mohammed chief Masood Azhar as global terrorist by the United Nations, as it's investigating his terror activities. Speaking at Security Conference in New Delhi, Ma Seung-woo said China was considering India's proposal on Azhar as well as various other aspects of the matter, like whether supporting the move will land it in a bigger problem. The Chinese functionary, however, added that terror camps in Pakistan were a matter of concern for China because Taliban was training members of Uyghur militant group, the East Turkestan Islamic movement. He said there was Chinese camp in Taliban where nearly 320 Chinese nationals have been recruited.
这个领土争议是一个应该说是一个由来已久的，已经很长时间了。这个领土的争议，我看就是说其实一直要往前。
The matter of killing of an Indian fisherman in alleged shooting by Sri Lankan Navy has been taken up at the highest levels between the two countries. Vice President Mohammad Hamid Ansari on Tuesday raised the issue with Sri Lankan President Maithripala Sirisena during a bilateral meeting in Jakarta on the sidelines of IORA summit. Meanwhile, hundreds of fishermen protested in Tamil Nadu's Rameshwaram against the killing. A 22-year-old fisherman was shot dead on Monday while he was fishing off Kachavitu Islet. Tamil Nadu Chief Minister Palaniswamy condemned the incident and announced a compensation of ₹5 lakh for the victim's family. India's High Commissioner in Colombo also took up the matters with Lankan Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe. The Ministry of External Affairs said Sri Lanka has assured full and thorough investigation in the matter.
He had spoken to the chief of the Sri Lankan Navy, who had said that no such incident from this side of Sri Lankan forces took place. He has ordered, the President has ordered full investigation. That report should be made to him.
We have seen the reports of the killing of the Indian fishermen. The matter has been taken up at very high levels with the Sri Lankan government through our High Commission in Colombo. And safety and security of all Indian fishermen is in fact all Indians abroad is a matter of very serious concern for this government.
Now, International Women's Day is being celebrated today. Government, NGOs and other organizations across the globe observe the day to highlight achievement of women while calling for greater equality. In fact, activists have called for a women's strike worldwide to protest against systematic gender inequality. President Pranab Mukherjee will give away the Nari Shakti Puraskar in New Delhi today. It's given to eminent women and institutions in recognition of their service towards cause of women empowerment. In his message on the eve of International Women's Day, the President said generations of Indian women have made an invaluable contribution to the development and progress of the country. The Nari Shakti Puraskar carries a cash award of ₹1 lakh and a certificate for individuals and the institutions. One such awardee this time is Shiro's Hangout Cafe in Agra. Is the first of its kind cafe in the country in which is being run by 5 acid attack survivors.
यही हम चाहते थे कि मतलब समाज हम लोगों को अगर ना समझे तो कुछ चीज़ पहले था, लेकिन जब से हमारा कैंपेन स्टार्ट हुआ है 2013 से तो कुछ चीज़ धीरे धीरे खत्म हो रही है और हमें राष्ट्रपति का अवार्ड मिल रहा है तो बहुत खुशी की बात है कि सरकार भी हमें सपोर्ट कर रही है, मान सम्मान कर रही है, तो अच्छी बात है.
The WikiLeaks has released what it termed as the biggest ever leak of confidential documents from the CIA. It has been claiming that CIA partnered with foreign intelligence agencies to turn TVs and smartphones into weapons for surveillance. It alleges that CIA infested and collected intelligence through smart TVs and phones. Codenamed Vault 7 is the largest ever publication of confidential documents on the agency. It's a substantial collection of material about the CIA activities obtained by WikiLeaks. Part 1 was obtained recently and covers through 2016. Details on the other parts will be available at the time of publication. It follows an introductory disclosure of CIA targeting French political parties and candidates in lead up to 2012 presidential elections. WikiLeaks said recently that CIA lost control of majority of its hacking arsenal. Another news from UK, where Theresa May government suffered a heavy defeat in a vote in the upper house of the parliament on terms of the country's Brexit from the European Union. The House of Lords peers backed by 366 votes to 268 a plan to give Parliament final say over Brexit. The amendment would require the final terms of UK's withdrawal from the European Union to be put on a separate vote in the Commons and the Lords. The turnout in the Lords for the vote was the largest since 1831. It's the second defeat of the Lords has inflicted on May over the Brexit bill after she and her ministers demanded it be passed by the Lords unamended. The vote could put risk Prime Minister's timetable to start talks on quitting the European Union later this month.
It was a huge vote, the largest vote I think we've ever had in the House of Lords, certainly in the last couple of centuries, and it was a very big majority, which is disappointing for the government, for us Conservatives, and those of us who are trying to provide for what people voted in the referendum last year. This issue will go back to the House of Commons, and I hope that they will knock it back.
And Olympic medalists Saina Nehwal and PV Sindhu are aiming to become the only third Indians to lay hands on the coveted All England trophy when they lead country's challenge at Super Series Premium Tournament. Ever since Purella Gopichand replicated Prakash Padukone's 1980 feat in 2001, no Indian has ever laid claim to the crown. Saina Nehwal has once managed to come close to achieving the rare feat when she reached the finals in 2015 before losing to Spain's Carolina Marin. India will have its eye on Saina Nehwal and PV Sindhu in its tournament. Saina and Sindhu have been seeded 6th and 8th respectively. Saina Nehwal will have a tough encounter in the opening round as she faces Nozomi Okuhara, while Sindhu will meet Met Poulsen in a first match. In men's single, 3 Indian shutters HS Pranoy, Ajay Jairam and Kidambi Shrikant will feature in the All England Open tournament. That's it for now. Keep watching Rajya Sabha for more.